What is up, everybody? Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello. Let's get this thing going on.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. What's up, people? Who do we got in here? We got Baggy Noodle Arms, Duke Lyman, Man of Vault, obviously Slot and myself.
Hello.
Harry Wizard Gaming, how are you?
Oh, Harry Wizard.
Hi,
That's a
guys.
rare appearance.
Hi, how you doing? So, unfortunately, Mr. Eddie Nines had to back out today due to some family stuff that he had to take care of, so it's just going to be Slot and
Us too.
myself. Just us two. I know I'm always working. It's okay, Harry. We miss you. Come back. Um, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Eddie's gaming news from what I can, bring together from what I have over here. We're going to just start off with that. Then I will go into a little bit of how to make proper relationships with people online and in your life, and just like what are positive relationships, what are negative relationships. We will go into our featured member of the week's video, which is Hoenma this week. Congratulations to him. And then Slot will be finishing off the night with her talk about.
I'll be talking about balancing an irregular work and stream schedule and how to kind of create consistency when you don't have consistency.
Perfect. I like it because I feel like a lot of us need to hear that kind of talk and have that kind of talk, because a lot of us are obviously busy, especially with the holidays coming up. Everything's getting a bit crazy. So let's start off with this gaming news. The first news I have for the night is the Rainbow Six Siege, obviously, news that I will be bringing to you guys is going to be, they are releasing the last season of this year. They're coming out with 2 new operators, which is going to be Kaid and I can't remember the name of the second one. I have it here and I can't find it because that's, just my life.
That's just how life works.
Yeah, but I knew it like 3 seconds ago. It's awful. It's so bad. Oh my god. I'm just gonna Google it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I would help, but I just pretend to play Siege.
I literally just knew it like 5 seconds ago. This is unlike me. Hold on. I got this. But the new season is going to be called Wind Bastion. They're coming out with a new map, 2 new operators, 1 female, 1 male. The male is going to be Kaid, and the female is going to be. Oh my god! It wants to know how old I am. I am.
Are you old enough to be viewing this webpage about?
I can't obviously.
Operators?
I can't be trusted with this webpage. Nomad. Thank you. I knew that. Okay. So, Kaid's special ability is going to be that he has a device that he can actually throw. It will attach to walls, ceilings, floors, and it will have an actual radius in which it will expand slowly, and it will show you where on that radius it'll end up. And anything that is touching that radius obviously automatically gets shocked. So if you have if you have a shield over here and you have a wall over here, if you throw it in the middle and the radius touches both of them, they will both get shocked.
Wow.
Barbed wire, all of that stuff. It's really going to change the game because right now there is no way for an operator to shock a hatch. So that will seriously deter thermite charges, Habana charges on the hatches to open those up for peek holes, get those angles in. Because right now the defense has nothing other than just reinforcing it and sometimes muting it if they're lucky. It's very difficult to keep them from getting in that traps. And then Nomad's ability, she has something attached to her gun where she will shoot out a charge. It's the first operator on the attacking side that will actually have a trap for the defensive players. She will shoot it. It's a proximity mine. If the defense operator goes near that proximity mine, it will essentially explode and blast them off in the other direction with an air force. So,
Wow.
So basically, you're walking, you hit this mine, and then you basically shoot backwards. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So does this help against any of the new operators from last season, like Clash and everybody?
So actually, it's a very easy way to get rid of Clash. What it will do with Clash is if you shoot it, say, on the floor in front of her or on the floor behind her, it'll shoot her in that opposite direction, and she will fall on her back with her shield down. So if she's down, obviously you can shoot her, but she has to be able to get back up without that shield and then redeploy her shield. So that's right now a lot of people are complaining that Clash is a little hard to get around, obviously, because she has that big shield. But unlike Monty, she can actually be meleeed, and she would stagger on her feet. And basically, you would just melee her and start shooting her in the feet. But right now, this is a way to completely bring down her shield, shoot her back 5 feet basically into the room, and it's gonna be pretty crazy.
And it sounds like the shock one helps a little bit with Glaz, because I know Glaz can shoot through windows, but if it can shock the walls that he's near, then that's kind of
If he's hiding behind a wall, he'll get shocked. It'll basically be like a bandit charge that has a little bit more flexibility,
right.
so to
So it
speak.
sounds like they're going to combat those new operators a bit.
Yeah, it'll definitely combat Clash. It shouldn't really deter Maverick too much because Maverick's isn't a physical weapon that attaches to these walls, so
Right.
he'll still be able to shoot it out with the fire and everything.
Right.
Other than that, though, it's really going to be interesting on the attack side because not only will it affect the defensive operators, but it will affect you as well. So if I was standing right next to you and shot it on the ground and you're on the defense, we're both flying backwards. So
Okay.
it's gonna get a little tricky, I think, for some people.
So you got to be real careful that your team's not around when you set something like that off.
Absolutely, absolutely. You got to make sure that you have very good communication with your team because everyone knows that Rainbow Six Siege is a very tactical game. You got to be very communicative with the other
And
people
we all know
around
that you can team kill.
Yep. Absolutely. They're also coming out with a new map called Fortress. It is going to be the first map of its kind. There's a lot of open areas that people can come into. It's going to be more of an open map that they said. It's not going to be so closed. Not a lot of things to reinforce. It's going to be a lot of open areas to the sky and everything. Places to rappel down, things to explode. That's also going to be very interesting because again we just had a map rework of Hereford Base, so
Right.
that feels like an entirely new map by itself. They brought back Yacht, they got rid of a couple of other maps this year, and now they're bringing in another completely new map. So this year they kind of went super hard with just content, and I believe right now it is available to play on the test servers. So if you guys are interested in playing that, it's available on the test servers, and Ubisoft right now is also having their Black Friday sale. It's already live, and I believe you can get the base game, not the starter edition, but the standard edition for rather cheap because they have a lot of stuff on sale right now on their website. A couple of other changes that they were going to make to the game is they were trying to make it more family friendly. I don't really know how you can make a shooter family friendly, but they're going to try. Right now, there's
Okay.
there's a lot of content in the maps that they felt weren't very welcoming to maybe their younger crowd. So in a specific map, there is a neon light of a woman on a pole dancing. They're going to replace that with just like a woman's hand pointing. Another room has slot machines. They're trying to get rid of all the slot machines. They're basically just trying to make it more overall.
Okay. The woman on the pole maybe, but the slot machine seems a little silly. Like,
Yeah, they're just
you
trying to
see
get
a
rid of
slot
those
machine,
types.
oh, like, what is a kid gonna then become a gambler?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
not a lot of people
All right.
have access to like real in-person slot machines and stuff, so I'm not entirely sure why they decided to make that rework. Right now, again, they're just trying to make it more, globally friendly,
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah.
But I feel like you're playing a shooter. You should kind of know what you're getting yourself into, in that regard. So
For real. Okay, that's just an
it's
interesting
it's
approach.
silly. I definitely find it silly as well. Speaking of Black Friday, the Nintendo eShop is also having a lot of sale discounts on a bunch of Switch games and 3DS games. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is 30% off and is on sale for $41.99. FIFA 19 is 40% off. Starlink, Snipper Clippers, Doom, NBA 2K19, Elder Scrolls, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, Dead Cells, Celeste, Undertale, South Park. So a lot of indie games, which is
Yeah, for sure.
not too far off because they are actually do have a lot of really good indie games on their platform right now.
Right.
Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, Just Dance, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Crash Bandicoot, and a couple of other games in here. I'm just trying to
Good
scan
games
through
in
them real
there.
quick. That's all on the Switch right now. On the eShop, for the 3DS, they got Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, the 3D one, Shovel Knight, Hyrule Warriors Legends, Box Boy, ooh, Kirby Fighters Deluxe, Dylan's Dead Heartbreakers, Runbow Pocket, Tetris Ultimate, Rayman 3D, and a couple of other games as well on on the 3DS eShop, which I feel like a lot of people aren't really focusing too much on the 3DS because the Switch has that mobile
Right,
ability.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely been a game changer. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Pokemon Go's December Community Weekend brings back all the past event Pokemon. So I guess Pokemon Go had a big event. They're bringing back the event again to where you will be able to get all of these Pokemon. And obviously, Pokemon Go does have that compatibility with the new Pokemon game for the Switch, the Eevee and the Pikachu game. They do have that cross compatibility where I think you can bring your games over from the Pokemon Go app on your phone to your actual in-game content. And I know
Nice.
that Pokemon game's been getting a lot of rave right now. Everyone's playing it constantly, I heard,
Yeah.
because I think it's a remake of the Red, Blue, and Yellow game. Just
Yeah,
more
it's like
3D and
remade.
beautiful.
It's remade and got like updates to like kind of modernize it a little bit. It ties. I think it ties in with Pokemon Go somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some way to make the two compatible, and I believe
Yeah.
the event says that you will be seeing more Bulbasaurs, Charmanders, Squirtles, Pikachu's, Eevees, Dratini, Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Mareep,
Wow.
Larvitar, and Beldum in the wild. And
Ooh.
I know right now, just from the game, just from my personal experience, that Pikachu is also super hard to find because I remember my professor actually stopped our lecture mid lecture to go catch one outside. So
Wow. That's actually amazing.
that day, organic chemistry did not matter, but Pikachu did. So
That's great.
it was pretty great. Everyone you know
Um,
is playing it, Jono? Yeah.
yeah. If we want to talk about Black Friday sales, do you have more to talk about with Nintendo or?
I don't have anything more to talk about with Nintendo. I just have a couple of gaming deals, but feel free to jump in if you
Yeah, I
have
just
any
wanted to say
ideas.
the Steam autumn sale, Black Friday sale started. It ends on the 27th, and there's a lot of really good deals on some big games. I mean, if you want, Monster Hunter World is 34% off, Assassin's Creed is 33% off, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is 50% off. Jurassic World Evolution is 60% off. There's just a lot of really good deals going on there. Rocket League is 50% off. Far Cry 5, if anyone's still looking to play that, is 50% off. So right now there's a lot of pretty good Steam sales, and they're only until the 27th. So if anyone is looking for some games, I guarantee you, like they have 14,000 games on sale right now.
Yeah, so you're guaranteed to find something that you
Yeah,
indeed like on that
yeah,
sale.
absolutely.
Are we going to talk about that Pikachu movie? Because I'm not sure how I feel about it. We'll talk about it in a minute, Corn. Don't worry.
It's going to be great. That's what we need to talk about.
Speaking of more Black Friday deals, there is console deals right now if you are interested in getting a console, especially the Switch. They've got a couple deals going on. So the PlayStation 4 Slim and Marvel's Spider-Man bundle is now $199 on Amazon, Target, Walmart, GameStop, and Best Buy. So that's $100 off for not only the console but also the Spider-Man game, which also was amazing. The Xbox One S 1 TB and a Minecraft bundle is also $199 at those same stores. The Nintendo Switch and the Mario Kart 8 bundle is $60 off at Amazon, Target, Walmart, and GameStop and Best Buy for $300. So basically, you're getting the game free. Don't expect the console to go on sale just because it's still rather new compared to the other ones.
Absolutely, yeah.
The Nintendo 2DS and Super Mario Maker for the Nintendo 3DS bundle is now $80, which is $40 off also all of those same stores. And Xbox One X is now $400 instead of $500, so it's $100 off. And there is some PlayStation VR bundles that are also $100 off at those stores. Gaming PC and hardware deals. The Alienware 15 laptop is $450 off right now. It's going for $1,500 instead of $2,000. HP desktop with Intel Core i7, 16 gigabytes RAM, and a 1060 graphics card is $300 off, $900 at Best Buy. Other gaming desktops, I could post this link if you guys are interested, or you guys can just DM me. I could send you all of this. Peripheral deals, they are having the Nintendo Switch kits are $40 to $50 off at Best Buy. There is a Razer Holiday Chroma bundle at Walmart, which includes a keyboard, a mouse, and a mouse pad that are all RGB. Probably would cost you well over $200 for all three of those things.
Yeah, for sure.
$95 at Walmart. So that's a
That's a really good
great
deal.
deal. If you're looking to, pick up a new keyboard or someone who got a PC and you want to give them something pretty cool, that'd be pretty great to give them.
So don't forget to check your local electronic stores, because these are going to be major retailers. Guarantee your local electronic stores are going to have amazing deals. I know I haven't looked totally into it, but I know Fry's is having some crazy deals this weekend for people on the West Coast. So make sure
Absolutely.
you definitely check your local stores as well.
Absolutely. And HyperX is also having a couple deals on Amazon where they are 30 to $10 off, and also at GameStop where it looks like it's usually $70 on sale for $35 for the HyperX Cloud Core gaming headset and the SteelSeries Arctis 3 wired one. We don't need to get back into the video game deals because, again, you said that there's also all those games that were mentioned before, Assassin's Creed, Sea of Thieves, Forza State of Decay, all of those games. If you go on Walmart, GameStop, Best Buy, they're all going to be on sale for Black Friday.
Absolutely.
A lot of PC games, if you're looking to get a 4K TV, Sam's Club, Best Buy, and Walmart, and obviously everywhere's going to have TVs off. So I think more PC gaming deals. There's a lot of monitors, desktops, laptops at not only Best Buy, Newegg, Razer, and Walmart, and graphics cards are also on sale, and some other games here and there that I see. Go to the site specific thing. So if you want a new graphics card, you can find them on Amazon and Newegg. If you want something that has to do with Razer, Razer has their own website. Obviously, go on their website. They have their own deals. I know a lot of those stores like Best Buy and Walmart also do price match, so don't be afraid to fight for a good deal. It's Black Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Like stores like that are very good with it, especially, and also make sure, again, check your local stores. A lot of them will do it, because I got price match and on something that I bought like before the price went down. So make sure that your price match also isn't just for that day. It can be within 30 days, a lot of places. So that's also a really good way to get good deals, is to stay on top of the prices after you buy it.
Absolutely. A lot of people will be like, just bring in your receipt and they'll pretty much hook you up.
Exactly.
Apparently, No Man's Sky is also getting an update which will add alien archaeology and a weirder, more surprising universe. I've never played No Man's Sky, but apparently they're going to be adding a new expansion for it.
Never played it either. I heard from a lot of people that they really enjoyed the game, but I guess kind of similar to Sea of Thieves is there wasn't a lot to do. Like there's a lot to do, but it takes a while to get to that point, or to get to the places where you can do it. But I guess they're adding more content in now to bring it up to the level that I guess people were expecting it at. I don't know a lot about No Man's Sky, but that's just what I've heard, is that it's a beautiful game. It's a fun game, but there's just not as much to do as people expected in it. So I think that's part of what they're adding in now with this alien, whatever you just said.
Yeah, so the last major update was called The Abyss, and it focused more on improving underwater gameplay elements, and this one will focus mainly on space exploration. It's expected to drop on Thursday, November 22nd, so tomorrow, and it should include new life forms, more minerals, more fauna. Flora are getting deadlier, apparently more alien creatures, and apparently a couple more community research missions. So, if you're a big No Man's Sky person, apparently this is supposed to be a pretty cool update if you're definitely into the whole space exploration. So, new content's always fun. Just a fun little thing for that Pokemon game, if you're interested, apparently Eevee is rumored to be getting a Tamagotchi. So, if you are still into pocket monsters, obviously Pokemon, it's going to be around $20, because apparently in Japan it's supposed to be released on January 26th, and it's supposed to be around 2,300 yen, so that's about $20.
But the question is it going to be as annoying as regular?
I don't know. When I was younger, I had a Pikachu Tamagotchi thing that I always clipped it onto like my like belt loop, because it had like a little clipper or whatever. And I remember we had like a walkathon or something, and we walked around like the actual neighborhoods with like our teachers and stuff, and I had so much experience for that Tamagotchi, but they were pretty annoying to keep alive, and like my Pikachu got mad at me a couple times and stormed off, so apparently I'm not a very good Tamagotchi owner. Tamagotchi was the bomb back then. Yeah, everyone had a Tamagotchi.
Yeah, I had a Tamagotchi, and then a few years ago I downloaded the Tamagotchi app for the iPhone. And it made me want to throw my phone into the ocean.
So many, alerts?
Oh my God. I was like working one day
notifications.
and I had it in my work locker and I came down and I had like 62 alerts. And when I opened the app, it was already dead. And I was like, I just hatched you this morning.
That's awful. Don't
Yeah.
abandon your Tamagotchis, friends. I have a
Uh-oh.
knockoff one.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah,
Never again.
no,
I can't.
nope.
I don't have the patience for them
No more
anymore.
no more Tamagotchis. Valve is apparently discontinuing the Steam Link hardware, so if you have not already bought any Steam Link hardware and you want to, I would purchase it now because apparently they're
Mhm.
almost gone. I believe there is a Steam Link that costs around $50, but the bundle is 10% off, around $89 right now. And some Steam Links are at clearance prices where they are as low as apparently $2.50 to move hardware. So if you are someone that is interested in getting a Steam Link so that you can play your Steam games on maybe a TV or some other whatever you need, they have controllers and stuff as well. Obviously, jump on that now before they are gone.
For sure.
Holiday season, people, a lot of stuff is coming up. Again, Spider Man for the PS4 is also getting that Black Friday discount. Kingdom Hearts is apparently finally done. I don't know how to say this guy's name, but apparently the game is done, and they're expecting to release the game on January 29th of 2019. So I know we've gone
And
into it previously about what the game is actually going to entail, but
I have played the demo of it that they had at Comic Con. It was pretty dope. I played the Toy Story version, this Toy Story part of it. You could only play the Toy Story or the Hercules part. I played the Toy Story part.
okay.
You had Woody, Buzz. It was pretty cool. The gameplay was pretty easy to like get used to. Graphics were amazing. I'm interested to see like they didn't give you much of the story
Okay.
that was going on. It was literally just the Toy Story part. Like you're just in the house and you have to go, and it just like a little bit of gameplay, like what kind of things you'll be facing. But it was fun. I really liked it. So I'm interested to see where it's going to go from there.
Yeah, I heard the story of the Kingdom Hearts games were always very interesting and very fun to play.
They were. Yeah.
I've never played one, but I've always heard very great things about them. So everyone's super excited for that other one to come out.
I mean, yeah, it's been like 10 or 14 years, something ridiculous.
The same length we waited for Toy Story 3,
Yeah, pretty much.
which they're also apparently coming out with Toy Story 4. So
Yes.
that should be interesting as well. Apparently, Toy Story 4, side note, I was reading a couple of the reviews from like the actual actors that were acting in the movie, and they even had a hard time finishing the movie
Oh God.
because they said that it was so sad and upsetting to them, the ending of the
Uh-oh.
movie, that they had a really hard time filming it. Where, usually if you're doing like an animated film, sometimes you're like, say I'm in this room and you're in that room, but we're both talking, but like I could still see you.
Right.
I can't remember who said it. I don't know if it was Tom Hanks or if it was Tim Allen, but they said that whatever they were recording, they had to record with their back to the rest of them because they just couldn't look at them because it was that hard to film. So I'm like,
Oh wow.
I'm so scared to watch this movie because Toy Story 3 was an emotional roller coaster within itself,
Yeah, exactly. Just real quick, Corn is in chat asking, "What's the whole gist of the game? Like, what do you do in Kingdom Hearts?" I don't remember a lot of it because I played it when I was like a little kid, and I have never replayed it. So if anyone in chat wants to chime in on that, I know that you were playing. I forget what the main character's name is. Yeah, I actually don't remember much of it. I just remember Keyblades, and there's a lot of Disney characters. I just remember liking the stories when I was a kid.
Okay, so let's see. So Kingdom Hearts.
Sora. It is Sora. Okay.
It's a series of crossover action role-playing games owned by Disney and developed and published by Square Enix. It is a collaboration between Disney and Square Enix. Is under the direction of Tetsuya Nomura. And I guess you just go around and you do some
Baggy
things.
Noodles is saying you go through the Disney World fighting off the Heartless. They took over. It plays a lot like Final Fantasy. It has Final Fantasy characters in it that I do remember. I remember like bits and pieces. I really haven't played the games in over a decade. So
And apparently Video Game Donkey has a great video that goes over the entire series story throughout all the games. Okay. Thanks, Manivault. Kingdom Hearts, yes, Baggy. And then my last piece of gaming news is apparently The Walking Dead's final season is back in development. I know a lot of people were upset because obviously the developers that were at Telltale obviously were closing, and a lot of people did
Right.
not know if Walking Dead's final season was going to be finished. A lot of people were upset about that because everyone wanted to know what happened to Clementine. But apparently the final season is back in development. I know that they definitely want to finish that storyline because a lot of people really do enjoy that
A lot of
story.
people love that game. I think it's smart of them to at least finish that rather than letting it die.
Yeah, because I only played the first game and I think half of the second game, and the story is actually it's rather enjoyable and it does keep you engaged. I never went further in it just because I just never went back to it, but a lot of people said that the story was really great and a lot of people are very excited. I know one of Twitcher's members, Saint Jimmy, played it, and he was looking forward to the last game. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it's
do you play this Walking Dead or is it a different one?
so
You play this too, don't you?
so I played the first game and I played the second game halfway through it. And basically you're the first game you're one character and you're going around and you're doing your interactive story like a
Right.
normal Telltale game. The second game you play as Clementine. I think you play as Clementine throughout the rest of the games. It's basically like a walking, click and point kind of thing.
Gotcha, yeah.
Storybook, and it's a lot of fun. The story is very engaging. Obviously, you get attached to the characters. It's like playing a TV show, pretty much. But a lot of people did really enjoy it. A lot of people were very upset when they told them that originally that it was going to get canceled, but apparently
I do remember that.
yeah, they came back together and they're going to finish the development of it so that they can get that back out the door. I know Telltale also has a couple Batman games under the belt, Game of Thrones, and a couple of other story games. I think if you guys are interested, they were on sale on Steam a while
Nice.
ago. But
Good to know.
yeah, that's all I have for gaming news. That's pretty much all I
Alrighty.
had. It was a pretty quiet week. Obviously, a lot of the hype this week is going to be more surrounded around the deals, and it's going to
Yeah,
be
this
around the
whole week is
games.
not it's not really new releases. It's more just updates and
And come buy us because we're 30% off.
exactly.
So that's pretty much
It's
it for
deals
gaming
week.
news. Does anybody in chat have any gaming news that they wanna
I
talk
am
about?
not seeing
I
anything.
don't see anything either.
I see a couple edges in chat. Hello.
Hello, Edge Undead, Lady Edge. Hello, welcome to the.
But I think if you want to move on to your next topic, we can.
Sure, yeah. Destiny 2 season
Destiny
starts next week.
season.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
that's
if,
true.
if
It
you like
does.
Destiny 2, the season does start next week.
Yes.
Obviously, if you guys don't know what Destiny 2 is, they have a story to it. They also have PvP, PvE, all that stuff.
And the new DLC is December 4th. Baggy says he thinks.
Okay. And apparently
I know
Fallout
it's
76 is
coming,
awful,
yeah.
according to Mandeville.
I have not been here. The only person I know who has played it is Hugh Graham, who said he likes it, but everyone else I know who has talked about it is not saying nice things about it.
Yeah, a lot of people are very unhappy with the gameplay of it, but as Hugh has mentioned, he has said that they were pretty open about what the game is going to be when it first
Yeah, they never
was being
denied what
released.
it was going to be, and it's
Yeah.
exactly what they said it was. It's just not what people wanted, even though they were told that's what it was going to be.
So I know Hugh really enjoys the game. I know a lot of people honestly don't. I know he likes it more so for the just he said it doesn't feel like a normal Fallout game, but he said that the gameplay's still fun and there's still some stuff to do that I guess Hugh is a fanboy. I mean, hey, you gotta be a fan of something, right?
Leave you alone.
Leave you alone, yes. Deltarune is basically an Undertale 2, still not on Steam yet, so I'm mad about that. I've never heard of that game.
Me either.
Hugh loves Fallout, that's why he loves it. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
pretty much anyone who's a huge Fallout like fanboy, Hugh, is enjoying Fallout 76 because
Yeah.
it's like what they kind of expected and wanted. But people who are more casual Fallout fans or have never played Fallout before are just like, what is this?
Yeah, yeah. But again, they were very honest about what the game was going to be, so
Yes.
a lot of people like him who do like the game are very confused as to why people don't like the game, even though they basically knew what they were getting themselves into. So, that's pretty much Fallout.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get their shit together for Fallout 77. We shall see. We shall see. But we're going to transition over into the next topic. And the next topic was how to create, meaningful relationships, be in a positive relationship with people, how to deal with negative relationships. Obviously more entailed towards streaming and Twitch and everything and Discords and basically all that stuff because obviously we're all here for pretty much the same reason. Whether you're a streamer, whether you're a viewer, this is primarily where we live in this kind of world. So, just a basic like definition, I guess, of a positive relationship would be someone who promotes healthy growth in you, makes you happy 90% of the time, because obviously you can't really be
Can't be.
happy with someone all the time. It's just not human nature to be,
Even your favorite people in the world will piss you off sometimes.
yeah, it's just, but they have to promote healthy growth in you. They have to support you. They have to have your back. They have to make you want to be a better person and also love the person that you already are.
Hmm.
And if you don't like who you are when you're around those people, then obviously you probably have more of a negative relationship with that person where they're constantly bringing you down. They're stressing you out. You're just not happy around them. They're not backing you up. They don't support anything you do. They're jealous of you, what have you. Anything really negative versus a positive interaction is just something that obviously you'll learn with time. You can obviously read someone and think that they're going to be one way and they could be the other, and vice versa. You might think someone's not a good person and then spend the time to get to know them and find out that they're pretty awesome. But how do we go about creating these types of relationships is basically, how do people start talking in the first place? They talk. They try and find common interest between one another. If you come into the Twitch Crew Discord, I know sometimes Gen Chat's really scary, but if you come in and you see that someone's talking about, say, Rocket League or something, and you really like Rocket League, try and stir up a conversation about Rocket League. Try and get to know them on a friend basis that way, and then you could start diving more into not so much personal stuff, but getting to know them better, because you don't need to know their deepest, darkest
Fleshing
secrets.
that relationship out further from gaming.
Absolutely, because not only are we gamers or streamers, but we have jobs, we have families, we have other friends, we have other interests. There's a million and other things that we do. Hi, I like Rocket League. Hi, I like you, Manivault. But no, so like you have to be willing to have these conversations, and not only do you have to allow these people into your life, but you also have to have the other side where you're allowing them to get to know you as well. Relationships, whether they're positive or negative, are not one-way streets. They're 50-50 between one person and another person, and you guys both have to be willing to put equal effort into making that relationship, that friendship, whatever it is going to be, work. Don't be that one person that's constantly asking someone to game if they're never going to give you that effort back, and don't always be that person where people are going to ask and you're never going to put that effort back. It's got to be an equal effort on both parts, because that's relationships and friendships take work.
Exactly.
If you're in a relationship with someone who is not such a positive influence in your life, obviously is stressing you out, bringing you down, don't automatically, write them off. Sometimes, again, like you just have to try and get to know them. You might have a similar interest with them that has never been brought up before. Shanzi, welcome to the stream. Hello.
And with that, sometimes I feel like you don't need to write them off, but sometimes you just need a break from people to like take a step back and figure out what it was that was making you feel like that. And then you can come back and like try and like mend that relationship to what it should be. You don't have to write them off forever. Sometimes it just takes work and like time to learn and understand yourself and the other person.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, sometimes you might think that you don't have anything in common with someone. You might think they're rude. You might not get their sense of humor. But then one day you might be in a conversation with them and have a great rapport with them during that entire conversation, and realize that, hey, maybe this person is not as bad as I originally thought they were. And but also the vice versa can happen, where you have someone in your life, they're a positive force in your life, and then all of a sudden they're not anymore. You have to really kind of grow as yourself in a way to really decide who you want in your life, what type of people you want in your life, who fits your lifestyle, who meshes well with you, to really keep closer in an inner circle. Again, I know a lot of people say this, it's not so much the quantity, but the quality of the people that you have around you. And again, you don't have to be the best of friends with someone to realize that they're a quality person. Because there's quality people that I have absolutely nothing in common with.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I can't be their friend, but we just don't have anything in common with them. But I'm not gonna push them away because I don't have anything that I can really talk with them about.
Right.
And even relationships, if you're going into someone that you don't know, if you're gonna go pop into a stream, like say you're gonna go pop into a partnered streamer, and you don't know anything about them, they don't know anything about you, they're just a viewer to you, whatever. You could start talking about their stream, you could start talking about the game that they're playing, and basically all you need to do to start a conversation is have that baseline. So if I am gonna go talk to Noodles about Zelda, because obviously we both like Zelda. I know he likes Zelda. I like Zelda. We talk about that. We talk about what our favorite games are. in that series. Say we both like a certain game for a certain aspect. Say the aspect is character development. Take that character development and be like, oh, well, I really like the character development in this other game. Have you played it? And then that, that opens up the conversation to another, to another space, and basically just continues and continues and continues. And again, you find more things that you like in common, maybe things that you don't have in common. But again, if you don't have something in common with them, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just how we grow as people. Sometimes we don't know something. Like I know nothing about Fallout, and Hugh could talk to me about Fallout all the time. And maybe one day I play it and I like it. It's just.
I mean, I have good friends that I have a lot in common with, and I have good friends that I have very, very, very little in. Mm-hmm. And they're both still really great friendships because I can experience like things that I enjoy with people with that group of people. And then when I can learn something new or like teach something new to like the other group, like, it's good to have a balance of people that may not always have the same interests.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Baggy, thank you for the 4 months resub, the tier 1 sub. Everyone give her some hype in the chat. Good job, Rob TV. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, like you were saying, like, again, you learn and you have different people for different things, and you have different relationships with different people. No, your relationship with one person isn't going to be the same that you have with somebody else.
Exactly.
And again, like it's the same thing. Like in the world, that even if in a work relationship, you all have your own specialties. Like if I needed to know something about movies, I'd go to Slot. If she had an animal question, she'd come to me. If I needed something for tech, I'd go to someone who's super tech savvy. Again, these types of relationships that you make, and networking, which is really the biggest baseline that we all have that we're here. Networking is a very huge thing, is having somebody that you can turn to if you need something, being able to not necessarily have to give them something. It's not like I give you something, you give me something, but it's a common interest in a goal that you guys have. So obviously we're all, most of us are streamers. We all want to get to a certain place. Mm-hmm. If I want to get better at Rocket League, I go ask Robin for tips, or, if someone wants to get better at Siege, they go over there. If they want to know about Life is Strange, they can ask you how Life is Strange is, because you've been streaming that recently.
Yeah. And it's like, if people want to know about Destiny, like we all know that Noodles is the go-to Destiny guy. Mm-hmm. Like anything you want to know about it, he'll have it. Yeah. We all know people who have like their little area of expertise.
Yeah. But that's also a big thing, is recognizing those areas of expertise. Mm-hmm. Recognizing that Robin is good at Rocket League, recognizing that Blood is good at Dead by Daylight, someone's good at Siege, Baggy's good at Destiny, you're good at you were playing Spider-Man and stuff. All those games but to be able to know those things, you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention to the people that are around you. Sea of Thieves, you can go to Edge, because Edge is our resident Sea of Thieves guy.
Exactly.
But you have to pay attention to these things around you. Again, it's not a one-way street where you basically shove your knowledge about yourself to other people, but then don't pay attention to them at all. No. Knowing those little things are huge. Go ahead.
What I find interesting about like building relationships with streamers, and I'm not calling streamers out, because this is like anybody in any industry, when you're trying to, I don't want to say get something out of people, but we all network because we want to support other people, but we also want support. Like that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
But the hardest thing I always find is kind of building relationships with people who right out the gate just come to you asking for stuff. I feel like that's not the best way to start off building a relationship. Like
Absolutely
what you
not.
need, as you said, the best way is to find something you have in common, or find something that you want to learn more about and reach out to them. But like going to people and saying, can you host me? Can you raid me? Or like, you need to build the foundation of the relationship by having similar interests, or reaching out to people, or like creating a friendship, and not just expecting something from somebody because you're both streamers, or you
Absolutely.
both play the same game.
Because again, we're more than streamers, we're more than gamers. We have other interests, and
exactly.
our interests might, link up. Like I know Rebecca's like super into music. I'm super into music. That has nothing to do with gaming. But that's a great conversation that we can have. That has nothing to do with Twitch whatsoever. Just because I met you on Twitch doesn't mean I have to have a conversation with you about strictly Twitch stuff. Again, there's other stuff in our lives that
all
we
the
like.
time.
Yeah. And again, like you said, you don't want to come out and strictly ask things from people. Nobody's going to want to support you just because you ask. There's some people that might, support you, but they also expect something in return. But if you get to know somebody, if you get to have that positive thing, then they're going to want to support you. Again, like you said, everyone wants support. Everyone wants to give support. But if no one can support you if they don't know you, you got to let people get to know you as well.
Exactly.
I tend to know a lot about Nintendo games, but I also play some lesser known games like Fusion Fall. See, like I have no idea what Fusion Fall is.
No, if I want to know something about that, obviously now I know who to go to,
Yeah, like
and that's a way to build. That's how, you know, building blocks of a relationship or a friendship, and that's the way to build like good, healthy relationships that benefit you in life and also in like what you want and support. Like there's balance.
yeah, and again, these friendships, even though most of them are online, they don't have to stay online. Half of you guys met
Yeah,
at
absolutely not.
TwitchCon, and well, a couple of us know each other in real life. Like I know Brock in real life. I know
Hmm.
Rambo in real life. Rambo knows Muse in real life. You guys met them at TwitchCon. They know you in real
Yeah,
life. You know other people in real life, and they don't
yeah, I
have
know
to
quite a
stay
few people.
online. Yeah, they don't have to be
Yeah,
strictly online friendships. I have Blood and Robin
yeah.
coming to my apartment this weekend. For Friendsgiving. Like it doesn't have to stay that. But again,
No, but
to
we
get
met
to
at,
that to get to that
yeah,
level, you have to get to know them.
you have
But
to get to know them exactly. Like just because you meet online doesn't mean you have to stay online. Like I met Geekosaurus at TwitchCon, and I'm gonna probably end up going to Seattle to visit her. But just because we met on Twitch doesn't mean we can't ever hang out
yeah,
outside of Twitch things.
yeah, absolutely. Honestly, PAX East is going to be a great social experience. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's a great networking experience because you can meet
I
a lot
know.
of people. But again, you have to have those conversations and get to know them. You can't just say, hey, here's my business card, come follow me.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta have conversations. That's the basis of any relationship is being able to have a conversation, and that's not just like that's friendships, romantic relationships, business relationships. You have to
family
actually
relationships, everything.
family. You have to actually be able to have conversations with people.
And you can't be afraid of other people either. You can't be
No.
afraid to let people into your life, and you can't be afraid to enter somebody's life either. But you got to make sure that those people, again, promote something healthy in you, promote
Hmm.
happiness in you, support you. You want to support them back. It has nothing to do with just getting support from them. You have to want to support them too, because if you don't want to support them, then why even have them around? You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
we should go to a
That
Kings game sometime.
only if they're gonna lose.
Meeting online friends is the best. Absolutely, Manifold.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah,
yes, Baggy Noodle Arms and I believe Baggy are both going to be at PAX East.
yeah. So
And I
that's
think a few
it's
other
gonna be
people are
great.
trying to go.
That emote.
I love it.
On the flip side
Luigi
of the,
Luigi.
yeah, that's great. Yeah. On the flip side of the good relationships are also the not so good relationships, the negative relationships, ones where people can't support you. They're either jealous of you, they're not happy for your success, they're not promoting
Hmm.
something healthy in you, they're stressing you out, they're bringing you down, and every time you think about them, you're like, oh God, this person's coming around. You don't have to have them around. You can still be cordial with them, especially in like a community Discord. You don't have to be negative towards them. You don't have to stoop to any level. You can just be cordial and civil with them and have a
Hmm.
nice conversation with them. But you don't have to overextend yourself in their direction if they don't promote anything
Right.
for you. You know,
Right.
there's a couple people that I'm sure everyone's gone through this in their life, whether it's high school, college, work, your family, anything, where the person that you're around, you just don't want to be around them. Like you said, it's okay to
Yeah.
take breaks from people. That doesn't mean that you don't want to come back and be their friend at a later time. Sometimes you just
And
need your space.
and sometimes if you take a break from somebody, you realize that that's the best thing for you and you don't have to come back. You don't actually have to like go out of your way to be like, "Hey, this is what's going on." Like if taking a break is like what you realize you needed and it works, then it's okay to like continue on that path.
Yeah, absolutely. No one is forcing you to keep anybody in your life. No one is forcing you to get rid of anybody in your life. Again, it's your life and you can choose who you want in it and who you don't want in it.
Hmm.
But again, that's where you have to grow as a person within yourself to
Yep.
know who is worth it to you and who's not.
And this also kind of applies to streams as well. Your community, your chat, the people that you interact with, you have control over the types of people and who you kind of want to be there and don't want to be there. So if you have somebody that comes into your chat and is really, really good and nice and supportive to you a lot, but then suddenly they end up being really toxic or harassing people in your chat or saying things that you don't agree with, just because you have been nice to them and they've supported you doesn't mean that you can't time them out or ban them or kick them, whatever. So this doesn't just apply to personal relationships. It can also apply to the community that you want to build on Twitch, because you have total control over that. You
Absolutely.
have total control of the types of people, the personalities, who you allow to get away with things, who you allow in there. That is entirely up to you.
timeout slot all the time.
Yeah, everybody does.
Yeah. But in terms of chat and everything, like you said, that's something where you have to lay the line of what type of people you want around, because again, if you have that toxic person in your chat, but you're either too afraid to get rid of them or you're afraid to time them out, you have to have that relationship with people that you want to mod. So we've had the whole mod conversation before too, where you pick someone that you trust to lay down the law in your stream. If you don't feel comfortable with it, you have that conversation with them. But again, it's someone that you trust, that you know supports you, and you know is going to promote your stream in a healthy manner. And maybe they'll get rid of that toxic person for you, because if someone comes in that sees that toxic person is uncomfortable and leaves, that's a potential for you to either not only lose a viewer, but a potential friend down the line that you could have gotten to know. So don't let other people, taint your relationships with other people as well. Make sure that everything between you and another person stays between you and another person. Like, it's your relationship with another person in this world should be between you and that other person. Obviously, you're going to have opinions from outside people. That's just human nature. But you ultimately get to make that decision at the end of the day, whether that person, again, is worth it to you to have in your life or not.
Absolutely.
Hello, Aviator. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Do you have anything else to add on how to have proper relationships?
I think we hit everything. If anyone in chat has anything they want to add, feel free to chime in. But I think that's really important to realize the way you handle your personal relationships can also apply to how you handle your chat and your community. And your growth as not just a person but a streamer. It's very important to have healthy relationships and have relationships that benefit you in your personal life and not just for your stream, because that is the best way to have personal growth.
Stay positive. People will always like to be around a positive person. Absolutely. Because again, that's positivity as a person, positivity with other people, positive relationships. Negativity within yourself, negativity with other people is going to end up being a toxic, negative relationship.
And you're going to attract those types of people to your life and your community if that's what you put out there. And because like attracts like, and that's, you may not want that kind of community, but if that's what you put out there, it's going to be hard to kind of deter that.
Absolutely.
Because people are going to bounce off of how you act.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to get into this whole topic today because I know we've touched upon it. And
the mod topic.
Not even mod topics, self topics, but regardless of relationships with other people, it's also good to have a positive relationship with yourself. So if there is something that you feel that you need to fix within yourself, something that you want to change, you have to weigh what you can change and what you can't. The things that you can change, by all means, change them. Go get help from another person, or if you could do it yourself, do it yourself. The things that you can't change about yourself, like the fact that I have brown hair that comes out of my head. If I hate brown hair or whatever, obviously I could dye it, but I'll never change the fact that brown hair is going to grow out of my head until it turns gray. I got to accept that.
That's why I dye my hair.
Yeah. I know it's a silly example because you could change your hair color, but I have to accept the fact that my hair is always going to come out brown until the day that I turn gray. So those things that you can't change about yourself, you have to learn to accept them. You have to learn to love them. And again, obviously self-love and all that stuff is not a very easy thing. It's a very long, complicated topic and thing that we're not going to get into right now. But not only is it good to have a positive relationship with other people, but it's important to have a positive relationship with yourself, because you can't really let another person into your life if you're not really happy with yourself, 100%. Because you're not going to be able to be 100% for that person anyway. So if nobody has anything else to add, which I don't see in chat that anybody does, we are going to head over and look at our featured member of the week's video, which is Hoenma this week. Congratulations to him. Please ignore all of the random ads at the end of this video, because that's just what it is. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Oh yeah, let's go! Woo!
There's nobody here, so you're in the clear.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain the last person here.
Yeah. Bring me another.
I wish I could fucking throw grenades out there. Green building. Oh, yep. Got him. Hit him once.
Oh!
Got him.
Woo!
Really?
I think I got that last kill.
Crazy's good.
Woo! Oh, whoa.
Except for that guy who just got himself a grenade.
No, just keep going, keep going.
And that is our featured member, Hoenma. Again, congratulations to him. He's a great guy. We love having him around. I'm gonna try and fix this overlay right now. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a first time stream person. Pro strats right now.
There we go.
Hoenma is a great member of our community. He's always super active in our Gen Chat. If you guys are not a part of the Discord already, I know most of you guys are, but if you guys are just lurking in the background, feel free to join our Discord if someone wants to drop the link to our Discord. I think Noodles has the ability to do that right now. Feel free to join. He's a super active member in the Gen Chat. He plays a lot of games like Overwatch, Black Ops. I know he does a couple of artistic stuff. Get to know him. He's a great guy. And he was
he does.
super gracious enough to do our game night last week. So, yeah.
Yeah, he does some model building. I forget what they're actually called, but they're like these little.
I was gonna say I didn't want to murder the name of what he does.
I think it's Gunpla, but I don't know. But they're really cool. They're these little figures that he builds on stream sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And he also is an active service member for us. So thank you again for your service. I know you're not here right now because you're doing your thing, but again, thank you for your service. And he's also super knowledgeable about Japan. If you guys ever want to get to know anything about Japan, he's a dope guy. So.
It is Gunpla. Okay. I was right. Okay. I didn't ruin it.
All right. So without further ado, we're going to get into your topic. So go ahead.
Straight. No, so I'm going to be talking a little bit, just so everyone understands, just a little bit about just kind of, I feel like as a streamer, the biggest thing we always hear from people for success is consistency. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that can be a little overwhelming, especially like for me, if a lot of people know this, but if you don't, I work freelance. So my schedule is super, super inconsistent. Like I can work for 3 weeks straight overnight, and then I can not work for 3 days, or I could wake up one morning and not have a job. That night I have a job that night, so it's really, for me, the consistency has been a little overwhelming with streaming, because I want to set a stream schedule, and I've tried to, and every time I've done it, my schedule has changed as soon as I post it. Mm-hmm. So it's really hard for me with that kind of employment to just stay on that consistency. Mm-hmm. And I know consistency is key. We all know consistency is key. So what I've noticed is, for me, works is, if you can't have consistency in your schedule, it's nice to have consistency in games. Mm-hmm. So consistency can work a lot of different ways. If you can't guarantee, hey, I'm going to be on every Wednesday at this time, at least you can somewhat guarantee, hey, on this day, I'm going to be streaming today, because I know I can. I'll be streaming at this time. And I'm going to be streaming that game I've been playing for the last week. Mm-hmm. Or the last 3 streams. Mm-hmm. So people still know what to expect. Mm-hmm. You can still be a variety streamer. Like, you can still only play multiplayer games or only play story games. But it's good to have a consistent flow of the kind of games that you're playing. Because if you can't guarantee your schedule, at least the people who come in will always know the kind of content to bring it, that you're going to be bringing them.
Absolutely.
And I think that's been part of what I've been working on personally, but it's really hard to stream when you don't have a consistent schedule, especially if your hours are really crazy, because you may get home from work after a 13-hour day and be like, I want to stream, but also like, I'm exhausted. Like, you don't have the energy to put it out there. But you still feel this need to, because you're like, I haven't streamed all week. Mm-hmm. And so it's really finding that balance is really hard. I guess what I've been working towards is consistency in game. I see Shanzi saying hard to have a schedule when you have a full-time job. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Because again, it comes down to, even if you're working the same hours Monday to Friday, like 10 to 6, you're still going to be tired when you get home. Mm-hmm. So it's really important to find what works for you. Sometimes if you're going to be working nights, like to get up, instead of getting up an hour before your shift, get up 3 hours. You can you'll have the energy to do a short hour and a half stream, and at least you're putting yourself out there. People can still see your content, and it may not be at your regular time, but you may get new viewers who like the game that you're playing. And then that's where game consistency really comes in, because if you don't stream again for a week, but they see you're streaming, but say last week you were streaming like Life is Strange and today you're streaming Fortnite, they may not want to watch that and be like, oh, so this is not like an adventure game streamer. And they may not come back. And I mean, they might, if they like your content, hopefully they don't care what you're playing. But it is good to just always be able to have some consistency if you can't get that consistency in your schedule.
Yeah, MCN Mike says, I think self-care has some priority. I tend to say something on my social media when an otherwise scheduled stream isn't happening, which is, again, you're being consistent in your social media posting.
Yes.
So
Yes. So I feel like as streamers, and I don't know if you can agree with this, but when we hear consistency is key, we always think schedule.
yeah.
Because that's what I do. I'm always like, oh, consistent schedule. How am I going to do this? Like the last 3 times I posted a schedule, every single stream changed because I couldn't do them anymore.
It happens for me too, because sometimes I work in research. So sometimes my experiment is done at 4:00. Sometimes I run into a problem and it's not done until 7:00 at night. And I have to stay, or sometimes I have an emergency with the animals that I work with and I have to run over there and, take care of the animals. It's again, like you said, with the full-time job that Shanzi said, sometimes you just kind of like that obviously is going to take priority because that's my livelihood
that's
right
your
there.
Career. And that's usually what Mike is saying that, and Shanzi is saying it. So we all always think consistency schedule. But there's consistency in other parts of streaming that can be just as beneficial as having a consistent schedule, and especially even more beneficial if you can't guarantee a schedule. So like you said, Mike is consistent with his social media. If he posts a schedule and says, hey, this isn't going to happen, at least people know, okay, he's active on social media. Let me check his social media. Did he tweet a schedule? Did he tweet that it's not going to happen? Having that consistency means people will know how to find your schedule, how to find your stream, and any updates.
Yeah.
So I feel there's so many levels of consistency to streaming.
And never downplay social media. Social media is a very big part of your streaming career, I feel.
Absolutely.
And being consistent with that, I know I sometimes feel that being consistent with your social media is more important than your actual schedule. Because again, like you said, people will know where to look to see if you're live or not. They'll know where to go.
And it also depends on where your community is. There are some people that have a better community like on Facebook, and maybe that's where they're going to be consistent. Or maybe their Discord community is super, super active, and so that's where they're going to be consistent. Or most of their analytics are on Instagram. It's all about knowing where you're most saturated.
Where your traffic is.
I don't know why I said saturated.
Well, it's the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, so exactly like that is being able to maintain consistency somewhere still makes people know that you're consistent. So they may say, hey, I know this week you may stream once and next week you may stream 5 days. But I know where to keep in touch with you. I know where you'll post your updates. And I have a general idea of the type of game that you're going to be playing.
Absolutely.
And if you can be consistent in certain areas, it still matters to have a consistent schedule, but it's not, I don't think it's going to be such a negative impact that you can't have one if you can keep it in other aspects.
Absolutely. And I think just touching on what you said before about being consistent in the types of games that you play, I've heard this actually from a couple of people that they feel if someone's not consistent in their actual schedule and then also not consistent in their game that they play, or at least the type of game that they play, sometimes it comes off like they're not serious about what they're doing. That they just turn on the camera just to turn on the camera. But again, like if that's the type of stream that you want, by all means, no one's saying don't play this game. But some people say like you were playing Life is Strange. If I came in for episode 1 and you said my next stream is going to be episode 2, and say you had your job that you weren't able to stream for like a week or so, but then you're alive again and you're not playing Life is Strange 2, then
it's kind of a letdown for people that you say, hey. And if you are going to change it, because I actually did do this like a couple weeks ago, I was playing Life is Strange, and the next day was supposed to be the next episode, but I wasn't going to be able to play enough of it, so I didn't want to stream it. And I think I posted on Twitter, I was like, "Hey, we're just doing like a Fortnite stream."
Yeah, you again, you posted. You were you were consistent in your communication. There's just so many aspects to it.
Sorry, I just got sidetracked.
That's okay. Sorry, I kind of interjected there.
No, that totally makes sense though, because it's totally fine. You should play what you want, but if you're gonna be changing the content of your game, like I've been saying lately, hey, I know for the last couple months I was playing a lot of like Fortnite and multiplayer games, but right now it's mostly going to be story games. So I'm kind of putting that out there, and then if that does change, again, consistency on social media. Sorry, I feel like I keep saying I don't like that, but like
no, you're fine.
That's just what I feel is really important. If you have irregularities in your schedule, or if, like you said, you can't maintain a consistent stream and work schedule, you find other ways to maintain like the relationship with your viewers through some other form of consistency.
Because I know for me, like again with my work schedule being super crazy, and all the other stuff that I deal with that sometimes comes in the way of my streaming. For me, I don't think it's practical for me to play a story game because I have a hard time keeping up with them if I am inconsistent. So I try to play those games like Rocket League or Siege, where if you miss that 3-minute game, there's going to be another one right around the corner. So I don't have to worry about keeping up with the story, and that works for me. But if I'm not streaming, I always try to remain consistent in either Discord or Twitter or something, or just be around. But again, you got to find what works for you. If like you said, if you're okay playing whatever you want to play whatever you want to play. But you got to find what works for you and what makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, it's your stream. You're in control.
At the end of the day, it's your stream, and you know what's going to work best for you. But in terms of, everyone says like when you're inconsistent, your growth suffers, and I think that is true. But again, to an extent, and again, it comes back to what we think of consistency. Most streamers will always go to schedule. But even there are people I follow who have schedules that are always playing different games, and it's like I never know what to expect from them. So sometimes I just I admittedly will like see their live. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I just don't know what to expect from them, because like sometimes it's this and sometimes it's that. And that's okay if that works for you. And there are people that like that, and there are people who may not like vibe with that so much. But you have to find what works for you and what works for your community and the people that follow you, and just be consistent in at least one aspect of your stream, whether that's games or your social media or your Discord or your schedule. Whatever is easiest for you to maintain is what you have to put the effort into being consistent with. Because as long as you have one thing, people will know that you are still there. You're still like, even if you take 3 weeks off, but you're consistent on Twitter.
I think communication consistency is a very big thing that downplay.
Huge part, and I feel like that gets overlooked a lot because people focus on their stream and their schedule and what they're going to play, that they don't focus so much on their communication with like their followers or even their friends, and that falls off because they end up just turning on the camera and not really communicating with people. They just assume people are going to know their schedule. They just assume this or they assume that. And I'm just talking in general, just from things that I've seen. The
Manival says that's why so many people advise against variety streaming until after you had a solid following.
Absolutely.
Again, like, you could still have a variety, but for me personally, like I don't mind variety if you have like a consistent 3 games that you play, where like if you have like 3 games that you switch on and off between, at least I know you're going to be playing one of them, and I'm okay with that. But some people play like a different game every day of the year, and then like you said, it throws me off because I don't feel like I have a connection to what they're streaming.
Yeah, and then especially if you're playing a story game, because if you're playing a story game and you play like the first part of it and then you don't play it again for 2 weeks, then people are going to be like, well, what happened to this story? You have to be consistent with that a little bit too. And even if you want to change up games, sometimes I know there are streamers that have consistent days. Like Monday they'll play this game. Wednesday they play this game. Thursday they do this. So even if they play different games, you know what days they're going to be doing what, which helps with the schedule, but at least, again, it gives communication to their viewers of what to expect. But variety streaming is, Vault is right, kind of frowned upon.
It's risky.
It's risky because a lot of people come for a game. And if you change that game too often, then you may see fall off. But the goal is obviously to create content that people will continuously come back for no matter what you play.
And I touching upon what you were bringing with content, because I was having this thought in my head. If you're going to be a variety streamer, don't show variety in who you are as a streamer. If you're going to get super hyped for one game, you better get super hyped for every game that you play. And there's sometimes that you're going to play a game that you're not feeling that day. Then switch the game.
That's exactly what I was just going to say.
Exactly. Then switch the game. There's nothing stopping you.
The game. There's absolutely nothing stopping you. Or if you're playing a game that you're super hyped about and it ends up being something that you're not super, have to get down on it. Just be like, all right, like we're kind of done with that for the day. Just have that consistent level, that consistent personality, and yeah, again, it comes back to there's so many layers of consistency that your schedule shouldn't stop at your schedule. Yeah, your schedule is not the key to consistency. And when you have trouble with consistent scheduling, there's so many other things you can focus on that will keep people coming back.
Yeah, and you want people to come back for you at the end of the day. You want them to come back for you and the content that you provide as a person, regardless of what you're playing.
Yep, so, exactly.
And again, that's what I meant by being consistent with yourself is just,
yeah.
And I can't stress enough personally on my end how consistent communication I feel works best for me. Is just, again, like if you're going to take a break, let people know you're going to take a break. If you're not going to be around, let people know you're not going to be around. It takes 2 seconds out of your day to write a tweet, I feel, and just let your followers know.
In my opinion, communication consistency is more important than anything.
I agree.
More important than anything. Because if you have a great schedule, but you don't communicate that with people, then no.
And your communication also aids in your relationship with your stream and your viewers. And, being consistent in that is positive. People want to have that positive interaction.
So I guess the basis of really what I wanted to get at was just don't feel overwhelmed when people say consistency is key if you feel like you can't have a schedule. Because that actually was going on with me for a while this summer. I felt super overwhelmed because I was like, I just can't be consistent. I can't be consistent. There's no way for me to be consistent, even if I try to be. And it overwhelmed me. Yeah. Like I was like, I felt like I wasn't doing enough. And then I kind of took a step back and reevaluated it and saw that key is consistency, but in any aspect.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for anybody who struggles with that scheduling aspect as much as I do, don't let that be your main focus of consistency and look for other areas that you can be consistent because that will benefit you just as much.
Absolutely. I agree.
I think that's really the heart of what I was trying to get at tonight is don't be overwhelmed if you can't guarantee a schedule. Even if people are coming into your stream and saying, when are you going to set a schedule? When are you going to set a schedule? Don't let that put pressure on you to set something that you can't keep, because then it's going to end up being daunting.
Absolutely. And it's not going to be fun. And then you're going to end up doing it for the wrong reason. And it's just going to spiral into something that's just not enjoyable for you. And obviously we want everyone to stick around because we like all of you guys.
Yeah.
So
Baggy says consistently never stream. I mean, it is consistent.
That's my job. So
consistency is consistent.
My consistency is being inconsistent. So that's fine. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I got to take time for myself sometimes, I should take my schedule off my stream. If you feel that's going to work for you.
If you think that's going to work for you and make you feel less pressure, but still feel comfortable to stream when you are able to, then I think that's a great idea. Like, you have to do what's going to be best for you.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's all very good points.
Yeah. I don't know if you have anything to add.
No. I mean, I can't really speak too much on the consistency part because I feel like I cannot be consistent for the life of me. But again, even with
you, like you said, you're consistent on your Twitter. You're consistently in chats. You're consistently in Discords. So you may not be consistently streaming, but you're consistently out there.
Yeah, for me, I prioritize my relationships with people, so I want to be consistent in my relationships with the people that I have, and I want to be consistent in making those new relationships. My stream at the end of the day is my stream, and I set my schedule because if I am going to go live, those are the days that it's going to happen.
Exactly.
It doesn't necessarily have to happen, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I don't beat myself up because of it.
Mike says I only have a schedule because I can only do 1 day a week, but that's perfect because
Yeah.
that's your thing. There's nothing wrong with only being able to stream once a week. If that's the only time you can stream and you can do that every week, then that's amazing. That's more than so many people who stream.
Yeah, and I don't think you brought this up, but this is something that I saw that you did, and a couple of other people have started doing too. That if you don't have a consistent schedule, you post a schedule at the beginning of the week. That you have a very good basis of like this is probably what's going to happen, and say that like you said freelance. If you have a job one night, then it doesn't happen. Then you tell people, but instead of having a schedule permanently, it fluctuates and you let people know.
Yeah, I've had that happen. I made a schedule once. I accounted for time coming late from work because I always end up being like 2 hours late when I get off. So I like planned this all out. And then of course I posted it and the next day they were like, oh, so we're not working these days, but we are working these days. And of course I had to go back and be like, hey, so all of this is changing.
Yeah.
But it's okay because, you try and then you come back and again, it comes back to consistent communication. That Noodle says, and days you can't be live, just having a presence elsewhere, relevant wherever your community is. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And that comes back to communication. It's always finding a way to like be out there with people, even if you can't stream the same days every week or the same times or even every week.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to figure out what you want to prioritize, and then
Exactly.
like you said, that one thing that you prioritize higher than the rest, and be consistent in it. And
Yep.
And I think regardless of what you prioritize, communication should always be second to that.
Absolutely.
It should always just be an add-on to whatever you want to prioritize. Because just like Noodle says, if you're not streaming, but you're active on either Twitter or you're active in Discord or you're active somewhere else, at least you're still around. You're still giving that support to people, even if you can't pop into people's streams. Just saying hi every morning. People know that you're going to say good morning. They know that you're still there. Just a good morning's enough sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's pretty much most of what I wanted to say, because I know that this is something that I know you've struggled with. I know I've struggled with. I know, like, Bojangles has struggled with it. There's a lot of people in our community and outside of it that have struggled with finding, like, the ability to stream consistently.
Because there's so many factors in our lives other than streaming that just get in the way. So.
And I recently, over the last couple of weeks, just kind of, like, reevaluated. And it's like, what's important? And it suddenly made it all so much less daunting. And I kind of just wanted to talk about that with everybody.
Absolutely.
Like, just take a step back and figure out what you need to focus on. And don't worry about, taking advice from people is important, but what works for you isn't going to work for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Baggy says, from now on, I will only answer if you're tweeting at me. Fast trading. Lady Edge is bad at Twitter. It's okay. It's okay. You might be bad at something, but it's never too late to be good at something. And I think a big thing from not only, from your talk with the consistency, talking about, ever-changing schedules, talking about, relationships and stuff. I now lost the thought in my head, and I had it. God, I'm awful. That literally just flew out of my head.
I think I keep repeating myself at this point, so I think I'm nearing the end. But again, don't be overwhelmed. Don't be overwhelmed because somebody tells you, hey, you need this, or hey, you need that. You may not be able to do what other people can do, but you can focus on one aspect and grow that.
Absolutely.
And that works just as well.
Absolutely. I'm mad at myself.
Words are hard.
I'm going to be honest. I'm mad at myself because it was such a good point and now it's gone.
I'm finished. I don't have anything else to add.
Hards are word, please. Please, guys. Bear with me. I am a mess and a half all of the time.
So real quick, I want to remind everybody that we have a Siege tournament next week. Mm-hmm. If you want to talk about that a little bit more, since you.
Sure. So we are going to be having the Rainbow Six Siege tournament. It is going to be on December 1st at 8 p.m. The signups are going to end tonight. I already extended it once. Would really not like to extend it again, unless you have some extenuating circumstance. And by all means, just DM me. I'm always around. Just sign up. It's posted not only in the R6S tournament page, it's also posted in the announcements page. You are allowed to sign up either solo or with a partner. We need to know your Discord name or your Twitch name, if they are different. Your Uplay name, if you're ranked, and what kind of skill level that you think that you fit into, because we try to make the teams as balanced as possible. So you more than likely can stay with your partner, but I can't guarantee it because I try to make it as balanced as I possibly can.
And don't be afraid to sign up if you are really, really new or really, really a beginner. I mean, signed up 13 hours of Rainbow Six gameplay. Mm-hmm. So, it's open to anybody of any level. So please, if you're like, oh, I'm not good enough to sign up, I promise you are. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, honestly. It's just for fun, guys.
It's just for fun, so do not feel like you can't sign up because you're not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, half of us play Siege and don't even pick operators and just kind of go with the wind. So, don't be afraid to play. And if you want to practice, don't be afraid to practice with someone that's either on your team and or not on your team. There's literally always someone around willing to play Siege.
Absolutely. And then we have Sunday night movie night, I believe we're still doing. So we do a movie night every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Mm-hmm. Before that, on this channel, we do have a new show called The Duke and Noodle Show. It is a podcast-style show, and that is going to be every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And we won't be having it this Thursday, but typically every Thursday we do have a yoga stream with Brock in the Box, I believe at 8 p.m. or is it 9 p.m.?
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
So we do a lot of stuff on this channel, and if you are not already part of the community and you're just kind of hanging out here figuring out
7 EST, 4 PST.
Okay, that's why I said 4 p.m. because I'm usually in Pacific time. Yeah.
So right before movie night.
So it is right before movie night. So it's 7 EST, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard, and then movie night is right after that. And all of this information is also in our community. So if you're not already part of that and you're just finding this for the first time, feel free to join.
Absolutely.
And I think that is it for our show tonight.
Yeah, and I have one more little thing to say. If you guys have any ideas for topics on the show, if you guys want to be on the show, if you guys want to be a guest either on Crew Talk, or if you guys have an idea for tournaments, or if you have an idea for the community as a whole, don't be afraid to reach out to the mods. Don't be afraid to reach out to the admins.
Absolutely. We are always looking.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
We're saying the same thing.
Pretty much. We have a channel in the Discord called Community Suggestions. Use it. We're all here.
But if you're not comfortable making a public suggestion, if there's something you want to suggest and you don't really...
Your audio's cutting out.
Oh, is that a little bit better?
Yes, a lot better.
Okay. So, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Vacation, crappy headphones.
Happy holidays, people.
So, if you're not comfortable putting it in community suggestions because you don't want to put it out there for everybody in the community to see, you're always welcome to DM any of the admins or any of the mods. We do look at them, and we will consider everything that is brought to us.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to speak up, guys. Because your ideas are, just as valid as the rest of ours. So...
Exactly.
Vacation headphones.
Do you have anything else to add, Mars?
I do not have anything else to add. It looks like our featured member is live.
Yes, he is.
So we are going to go ahead and raid him. I'm going to get the command going.
Baggy has taken care of it.
Oh, he did it right before I did. Oh, wait.
Please stick around. Show Hoenma some love. He is our featured member of the week.
Yep, get those fist emotes ready. Make sure you have all of the hype, all of the happy emotes. Spam the hell out of him. He's a great guy. Thank you so much, Baggy.
And thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. We will see you next week.
Yep, we will see you next week, guys. Happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving. Have safe travels, everyone.
Yep.
I don't even
Hello?
know. I don't even know what's happening right now.